Welcome back, everybody. It's a Monday, and it's a great way to start a week. I am talking to a guy I've been watching and rewatching, and now trying to get my kids to watch it along with me because I love the series so much. It's Aedin Mincks. You've seen him on Cobra Kai. You've seen him play Mitch. I know you know him. I know he keeps on switching dojos, so we're going to talk about that in a minute. But please welcome to the program, Aedin.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, the funny thing is like most people actually like know me as Mitch. Like people were like looking in the credits and they're like, "Oh, his name's Mitch? I thought it was just Ass Face." Like, yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
I know, and the whole again, S face is funny until it gets to a point, right? Like at some point, maybe they should release that. I
Yeah,
know
that's
that they, yeah,
like like even the
yeah,
one part where goes, Ass Face has been loyal to the dojo. I'm like, all right, it was funny, but that was a great time to just
yeah,
saying my name too. Like,
yeah. And again, they tried giving you another one, but it was even worse. So we're not going to repeat what that was. Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe in season 4, if there's a season 4, maybe they'll let you keep Mitch and as a name, or you come up with
Or is
something
my
else.
is my reveal name. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So it's a great show. Listen, I grew up obviously being a fan of Karate Kid, and then I did not know about it. I did not know anything about it when it was on YouTube. I just didn't hear, and it surprised the heck out of me. And then obviously when it came out on Netflix, I watched it right away, and then had to wait along with everybody else for season 3. So how big of a change was it? Again, you were obviously shooting and then you waited, and then Netflix picked it up. So when it was on YouTube Red, was there a large enough audience? Did you feel like people were stopping you on the streets, or not really?
Well, that's the thing. Like, even on YouTube Red, it was still like a really good show, and
Yeah,
it's really well written and amazing. It was really good, and like people were still like saying so many good things about it, but it just wasn't getting like as big of an audience because like you every almost friend you ask, they most likely have a Netflix account, but like you
yeah,
barely know anyone who has a YouTube Red account. So like
sure.
it's just a
Yeah,
little bit harder getting people to like watch stuff that's on that.
yeah,
But yeah,
and yeah, the show is incredible. I'm in love with the writers. Everything is done so well,
yeah,
and they literally had me, crying and screaming at the end of season 2. So it's really really good. And again, like I'm watching the show as a fan of the original series. I'm watching as a fan of the new continuation of it because it's so great, and I'm watching it as an actor at the same time. Like all 3 parts of me were just completely engrossed in everything that was happening. It was great.
it's really amazing. Um, my mom was even like a fan of it like before, she was a
Yeah.
fan like growing up watching it, and she was even worried it was gonna be like a like nostalgic like cash grab or whatever. Like they didn't want like, but
Mhm.
be like the writers like they like fans like they were like they love the show, they care for the show, they're like heart soul effort like everything into the show, and like you can really tell like because it's just so good and doing so good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the guys are amazing. It's like, and I know you're a Star Wars fan. I'm as well. I'm completely like, when I'm not working, when I'm not doing something, when I have a free moment, I'm eating lunch. I'm watching. I just finished Star Wars Rebels. Now I'm in the clones and kind of season 2. I think I'm on season 2. So I have a lot of things to catch up on, but like the creators of that show, along with Lucas, remind me of the creators of Cobra Kai because they love it so much,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so great, and the fans all really understand it because there is so much of that love and understanding of all of the characters and everything that happened. Like then I love on Cobra Kai when they're doing kind of these flashbacks for people who weren't familiar with the films, that it reminds me, and some stuff I wasn't even kind of paying attention to when I was watching it, and it all kind of makes sense, and they're finishing some of the storylines. It's awesome.
Yeah, like my favorite part was like getting to see like I have a lot of favorite parts, but like one of the I think like a really interesting like cool part was like getting to see backstory of Silver and Kreese. Like, why did he feel like he owed him so much? And it's like, oh, yeah, like, yeah, it's really cool what they did with all of that. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, and go ahead. I'm
Instead of
sorry.
just like, oh, it's just a grouchy old man running a dojo. Like, it's like, no, this guy went through shit. Like, he's like, yeah.
Dude. And I love that again, they really do a fabulous job of playing with us because you think you know which crease which guy is the crease. Nope, it's not. You think you know which guy is his friend. No, it's not the ponytail, it's the other guy. It's like, wait a second, what happened? Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
I think my it was either my mom or my dad that thought that the ponytail guy was gonna be Silver, but they were like,
right.
no, he literally said Silver like earlier. I'm like, yeah, but I thought it was just like military names, Cherry, Silver, Soap, whatever. Like, I don't know.
it was
So,
it was really good, and you kind of start feeling for Kreese because Kreese was a good dude, and then
yeah,
it was Vietnam that broke him, not Vietnam. Well, yeah, it was Vietnam,
yeah,
Korea
it
or
was like
Vietnam.
Vietnam and his wife, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, dying. Yeah, that Negro. It's so yeah. I started feeling bad for Kreese, which I did not expect to because I really disliked him so much. Like season 3 showed some aspects where I started to appreciate him to a certain extent, and then throughout the war sequence, I'm like, okay, yeah, you've made me appreciate Kreese. I did not want to do that, but thank you, it works.
Yeah, when they make you like feel bad for the bad guy.
I know, which again, it's a sign of
I
a
mean, that's
great
kind of
show.
what the first whole season like did for like Johnny. Like, whereas like you just thought he was like the like mean like kid the whole time, but he like actually
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
yeah. Now it's like you're rooting for him the whole time you're watching the show.
Yeah, and they're doing again a sign of a great show is there is no bad guy, there is no good guy. Everybody is a shade of something, and they all switch. Sometimes you're rooting for one, sometimes you're rooting for another.
Mhm.
At the end of season 2 when we had that fight, I obviously I the only thing that I didn't want, and I had a terrible feeling that something bad was going to happen. Like they're building it up, and you're like, and they're going up. I'm thinking, no, no, please don't. Like me
Yeah,
as a parent, the whole part of mitigating risk and know what can possibly happen. Like I already knew something terrible was going to happen, but
yeah,
when that fight was going on, like who do you root for?
yeah.
Because you want both of them to win. You just don't want anybody to get hurt, and obviously, Miguel falls. So yeah, that was like I remember Kevin Smith was he was interviewing the guys uh, I think last year,
Mhm.
and he was like me, he was just almost crying at the end of season 2, trying to like, no, what is happening? You
Yeah.
know. So how did the process come about for you? Was it just a kind of a regular audition that your manager or agent got
Yeah.
you, or?
The funny thing was that like first I auditioned for Brooks, who was the bully in the first season, but
Yeah,
then like I didn't really have that much luck with it. But then I ended up getting
good.
Mitch, which was
Yeah,
like yeah, yeah, I like it. Had more luck with that one.
yeah. And did you know? Again, you've mentioned that your parents were fans of Karate Kid, but did you know anything? Did you watch it beforehand?
Well, I only knew about the Jaden Smith one, and then
Right.
like my when I got the part, yeah, when I got the part, and then or no, when I was auditioning for it, my mom was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, these are the spin-offs of the originals." And I'm like, "Originals?" She's like, "What? How did you not know about this? Didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
What happened?" Like she like I don't know if she like felt guilty for like not informing me, or she was like, "What's wrong with you?" But
Mhm.
yeah, but then I found out about the originals, and then like I watched all of them, and I like those ones way better. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
the third one's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. I think first one is everybody's favorite. Although I liked the Karate Kid with the girl. Now I forget her name and I feel bad,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I like that one. That was good. So I think the first one was my favorite, and then I liked the girl, and then I obviously watched the newer version of it, and just because I like everybody, I found it cool. But yeah, it wasn't the original. So I was really happy when Cobra Kai
Yeah.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait, how are we gonna do a reshoot in China? Like, what? Or are we going all the way over there? No, but yeah,
No, it's really well done. So in terms of again, the show obviously blew up once you got on Netflix, and it got approved for season three, which is great. Season three was, I think, probably my favorite season because there was so much interesting stuff going on in season three.
yeah,
Um, I will make my kids watch it, especially now that my son went back to martial arts. Which is why we had to delay this interview because I took him to another class. So
God,
I will make him watch it with the
like,
originals and then coming back in there. But the show blew up. And what was kind of, did you feel that all of a sudden your life kind of changed as it became Netflix global number one overnight?
yeah, it was like really odd. Like I did have high hopes for it,
Yeah.
but like then seeing it like be in the number one spot for so long, like that was just awesome. And then when season three drops, like I was wondering how long it would take for it to get back to number one. I was like, I feel like if everyone loved it that much, like they're immediately gonna be like, season three's there. Like and just like immediately like hop back onto it. I'm like, I wonder if it'll go back and how long it'll stay. But yeah,
Oh,
and it got back there really quick.
oh
I don't
yeah.
know if it's her, but like, yeah, it's in the top 10 still, I
It
think.
it's still number one. The last time I checked, it's still number one global. Bridgerton went down to number two. I like
Okay.
Bridgerton as well. I watched it. A lot of people are coming from Bridgerton to the show next week. But yeah, Cobra Kai is still number one. And
Nice.
um, yeah, as soon as it came out, basically it was like it was me greeting my new year. It came out and I binged the
Yeah.
whole thing that day.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so I'm sure me and a lot of people were like that. Everybody was just, on their TV. That's all they were doing.
Like around 10 p.m., I was like starting to fall asleep, like on
Yeah.
New Year's, and then they're like, "It's coming out in 2 hours." I'm like, "Yeah, okay," and like I was falling asleep, and like as soon as it like came on, like we were all just like watching it and just like finished it in like over the next 2 days, like.
Yeah. And is it interesting, again, from an acting perspective? Do you like watching yourself on screen, or are you one of those actors that like, yeah, I don't know.
It's fun getting to like see me and remember like those times and moments and stuff. Like sometimes I'm looking at myself and being like, I could have done it a little bit better or different or something. Like I've like most of the time I'm critiquing myself, but I'm not saying it out loud. Like I'm like, oh yeah, enjoy it, but I'm like, idiot. Like
Yeah, I find with myself, anytime I watch myself on screen, like the analytical part comes in and you're like, oh, that was wrong. I didn't feel that moment. You should have done it differently. Or wait a
I
second, I
didn't.
thought I had a better, yeah, I had a better take. Why didn't they use that one? Like that's
Yeah.
that's that's me. So I'm assuming a lot of people are like that.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So if Aiden, not Mitch, if Aiden had a choice between Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang, or Miyagi Do, which one would be more you?
Mm, I kind of liked Eagle Fang because it's like nice and outdoorsy, you
Yeah,
know. um, yeah, it was fun, and I like working with William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence. Like, yeah, he's a really cool guy. Likes to make funny voices and make jokes on set. So he's cool.
he seems like a really good guy. Kind of again, both he and it's late and I had a whole day of work, so my brain is not working. But he and Daniel Lewis's character, they all seem like really just genuinely good people,
Yeah,
and that's not always in our industry.
yeah, exactly. Like that was the thing. This was like the first set that was actually like extremely like nice and welcoming.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like the first day there, the guys were like, "Oh hey, Jacob and Cholo, um,
Mhm.
Miguel and Hawk,
Yeah.
yeah, for everyone else. They like the our first day there, me and Khalil were hanging out like on set,
Mhm.
and they just came up to us and were like, "Do you like Monopoly? Okay, cool. Let's all hang out at my house tonight." And we're like, "Oh, okay,
It's
cool. Is
great.
this like a prank or something?" So like we went over there. We were like there till like 4 or 5 in the morning just playing Monopoly.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, it was great. We were there for a long time, just like playing Monopoly. My mom even called. She was like, "What happened? Did they do anything? Is there Sharpie on your face?" Looking like, I'm like, "What? No, we're all awake. We're just playing Monopoly."
Yeah.
But yeah,
Are you and Khalil buds? Because you
yeah,
seem to have a good chemistry.
yeah, yeah. Like especially when like that was the thing that sucked when we got moved to different like dojos because we would
Yeah.
hang out a lot, like on and off set, like
Hmm.
just like between scenes, we were always just like hanging out in like the rec room playing ping pong or a little like basketball thing or whatever. And offset, it would just be like, "Hey, are you at the hotel? Cool, let's go hang out." So yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. Like we're all buddies and friends. Like yeah,
Yeah. It seemed like a really close set, and everybody. Again, we could never tell, but I remember talking to Hannah Keppel, who plays Moon on the show, and she was just saying that everybody's is really good. It's kind of a family. You'll hang out, and you're still friends. Just good.
yeah. That was the thing. Like it's not one of it's like how most shows be like, "Oh, it's my second family," but like it like really is. Like we get together after like set or even like in while we're in other states, we'll be like, "Hey, I'm coming over to LA. Want to hang out?" And it's like, "All right, sure." So we like literally are like a second family. Like everyone's like really nice and welcoming and everything. So it's cool.
That's very cool, and I hope it continues. Listen, it's you're all fairly young. You just turned 20. By the way, your birthday is October 10th. My son is October 20th. So
Okay.
you're both October kids, which is cool. So
Uh,
congrats on being 20. Your next one is pretty interesting as well. And you're matching the years, right? 2021. You'll be 21. So it works out really nicely.
yeah, it makes it easier to remember my age.
I think so.
What year is it? Okay, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the way that I remember, ages is because I know my wife is 5 years younger than me. I
Mhm.
know, I don't like with my kids, they're 5 years apart. My daughter is 16, my son is 11. So when anybody asks me like how old are they? I remember, but what year they were born, I'm like, wait, whichever one is easier to calculate the year by subtracting from current
Yeah,
is the one that I go, and then I just add 5 or subtract 5. It's yeah.
yeah. There you go.
The last time they asked, my daughter's year she was born, and I started calculating, she's like, Dad, don't you know? Yeah, kind of.
Just gotta like tattoo it like right on your finger. Just be like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's.
yeah, yeah, 2004. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Um, so you have a martial arts background, and you've done the kickboxing, you've done all this stuff.
Mhm.
How much of it came before the show, and then obviously you were training during?
Uh, like all little kids, I did like karate as like a little kid and stuff.
Yeah,
Got a couple or whatever, and
yeah.
but like like when I was like more older and like actually like affecting my body when I would work out, uh, I like I well not really this is not really martial arts. Like I did football for a year, like 2 years, but like school year 1 year, uh, and after all that I did kickboxing, and then that was just before Cobra Kai. But then after Cobra Kai, the the first seat like the before after the third season, I did a couple of private classes of jujitsu, and
Mhm.
it wasn't like anything too hardcore. It was just like how like to get like the flow down and like how to move around people and
Yeah.
like the techniques and stuff. And then now I kind of just like have my own like that was before we moved, and then now we're in a different state, and now I just got my boxing set up and weight like gym garage. It's like weight setup, jump rope,
Yeah.
and like I got for Christmas I got a really cool boxing bag, and it has like a little speed bag on the side
Mhm.
too. So like
Yeah.
it's like and like
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like I've been playing around with that a lot and like just getting like the beats and rhythms down, like doing a bunch of like cool stuff with it. But yeah.
It's fun. Absolutely. We had one in the basement, and then we didn't use it much, so we took it down. But I still have it somewhere. Yeah.
That's when you gotta
Uh,
put it in the living room so you remember and you're like, do it.
Yeah.
No.
The thing that I remembered, and thank God I did it, is I put a pull-up bar in my walk-in closet. So
There you
every time I walk into the closet, I'm reminded that you need to do pull-ups, man. And I started doing that. Like you
go.
do it, you build up, and then you forget about it. And but at least it's a constant reminder. So yeah,
Yeah,
maybe a speed bag in the living room is not a bad idea. I'll think
exactly.
I'll talk to my wife and see what happens after that conversation.
There we go.
One thing I did want to ask you about Cobra Kai is again being in a show that's this popular and being in this society that's really polarizing and with a lot of online bullying.
Mhm.
And I remember talking to Hannah, who, by the way, Hannah Capel, who plays Moon. I mentioned I want to bring her on because she's gotten a ton of views after the interview, which keeps on growing. But the comments are just ridiculous. It's all about her looks and wanting to marry her and all of this other nonsense. And
Yeah,
people are really not watching the interview; they're just watching to see how pretty she is. And
yeah.
as a man, as a parent, all of these things are really disturbing to me. So, have you had kind of any the negative part that comes kind of with being on a show this popular? Have you had any people who were online saying things that are not nice?
Yeah, that's weird. Like I would get like before I would get like a weird comment every once in a while, but lately I haven't been getting anything that negative really, or just like I
Good.
haven't been noticing it or whatever. But like when I was on like Ant Farm and stuff, or like a long time ago, or yeah, even just like randomly posting pictures like before Cobra Kai and stuff. Like once in a while, I'd get like a random person who's following me be like just like fatty or like whatever, just like something like I don't know. It's ridiculous.
People, yeah, especially the couch warriors are just wonderful.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not popular. At least the show is not popular yet, and we don't have that wide of an audience. But I did have one woman call me a clown, so I'm starting to climb the ladder.
There you go. Just
But
gotta just like theming it more like just like put
well,
on a clown suit now. Be like, oh, this is what you wanted.
it's actually not a bad idea. I should do that because I definitely have clown hair in the basement. It was a Halloween costume a few times. I may do that. I'm gonna write that down. Thank you, Aiden.
I got you. No,
Perfect. I'm gonna do a show as a clown. That'll work nicely.
in
Maybe
honor of this comment, I would like
perfect. I love that. Well, again, maybe you're getting less comments because people are watching you on Cobra Kai and they see that you kick ass. So maybe
there you go.
people don't wanna get on your
I
bad
will
side.
find you. No,
Have you ever had again? This is one of those other things like when you're out and about. Did any moron say, "Yeah, that's not real fighting"? Kind of challenge you in anything? Did you have any of that?
no, not really.
Thank
Yeah, I
God.
haven't had like experienced anything like bad in public.
Good.
Uh, yeah, just yeah, I'd just be like walking around and like random people would be like, well, not like it happened a few times. Like one time it was just like at a pool, um, at a like a hotel, and there was like a whole family, and they're like, "Wait, you're from Cobra Kai?" Ah?" Like they all got pictures. And then another time we were like walking through one of like the mall areas of Vegas, and like one of the kiosk guys stopped us and we're like, "Hey, hey, do you know who they are? Do you know where they are? This is the kid from Cobra Kai." And he's like, "I've never seen
That's
Cobra
nice.
Kai because like that was when it was still on YouTube." And he was like, "You don't
Oh,
understand, man." He goes, "Hey, listen." He hands me a card and he's like, "If you ever need rooms, let me know. They give us free rooms at any of these casinos. You just let me know." And he like handed me his card. I'm like, "That great, thanks." Like,
wow, that's
so
nice.
it was funny, yeah.
Yeah, well, you have to wait, until October to be able to use those rooms. But yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. But that's good to know. You have a hookup already. That's nice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And last thing in Cobra Kai before we move on. If there is a season 4, if they continue on, is there anything that aside from getting you a name instead of ass face, Is there anything else that you would like to see for your character in season 4?
Well, besides the name reveal,
Yeah,
probably like I want to do some fights with Chris Khalil.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to like not like this time like actually win him instead of against him like every other one. But yeah, I wanna fight with my homie again.
I want to see a rematch of the season 3 fight with well, the reason why you got kicked out of Kreese's
Oh
Cobra
yeah,
Kai. Yeah,
yeah,
I want
and
to
a
see.
rematch with JoJo.
Yeah, I want to see that rematch. So that would be a good thing. Actually, on that, I'm gonna ask one more question. So, because again, some guys like Sholo didn't have much of a martial arts background before he started the show. Same with Mary. I think she didn't have much. So, who out of the younger generation that's on the show, if there was a tournament where you guys had a chance to actually compete, who do you think would win?
Jacob.
Jacob?
No, yeah. No, he's like very competitive, but like yeah, he's awesome. It's like yeah, he like really like commits to like anything competitive and make sure he wins. Like
Okay.
even Monopoly, like I thought it's just like you land on it, you buy it, and you just for the like the whole time he's just like strategy like about everything. So like, but if there was a contest, I feel like that he would win in like every fight.
Okay, that's good to know. Good job, Jacob, if you're watching this.
Like,
Very cool. All right. So I wanted to go back into acting again. The show is the love of acting. So
yeah,
um, I know you got started very early. I think you were 6 years old, and you've done like I said, brain not working. You've done a bunch of stuff. You've done commercials, and then you went on television, and you get a chance to play some kind of iconic characters. You get a chance to play young Schmidt on the New Girl. You get a
oh
chance to
yeah.
play young Ellen on Hangover, which I can't
Mhm.
even imagine what that set was like for a kid. That must have been like between that and Ted. I don't know which one was a crazier set where your mom was probably hanging around all the time, making sure you're okay.
Yeah, for Hangover 2, what was it? Sorry, can you repeat that last part? I forgot what I was thinking of
Yeah, like
something.
which one of those two sets? We'll come back to you, being the
Yeah.
younger version of iconic characters in a second. But for you being on Hangover set or the Ted set, which one was the one that your mom was most worried about you as a young
I
kid
feel
being
like yeah, I feel like Hangover 2 because like that one like we went to like a whole nother like country. We were on like the opposite side of the world. And
That's true.
then yeah, and they would just basically push me out into the street with a harness with a camera like looking at my face. And then it's just like, all right, and go. And then like Todd Phillips is just right there, like, all right, you're doing good, just watching it like behind the camera. And like because they didn't have paid extras. There would just be signs at the end of streets that said, you're walking onto a set, you're agreeing to let your face be used for the movie. And it's just like
Wow.
I feel safe. Like, but
Yep.
then yeah, but there were like really awesome funny moments like like a really funny story was like I was like a little kid and
Mhm.
we so what would happen is the wolf pack would shoot their scene and then we would come in and it was all the little kid versions of them and we would reshoot the
Yeah.
scene and then basically what it was is they just montaged all of it into a minute and a half like clip
Yep.
and because it was like for the flashback and one time I think it was the beach scene uh what was it Zach Galifianakis handed me a tin of chew, but I didn't know what it was. And he was like,
Oh my
here,
God.
go give this to Bradley Cooper. I'm like, okay. So I just walked over to Bradley Cooper. I'm like, here, this is for you. And he goes, hey buddy, where'd you get that? He walks over to me. He goes, why the fuck did you give that to a kid? And he goes, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach has an interesting sense of humor.
Yeah, he's really funny. He really like chilling down to earth. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And I heard that you booked Ted basically without callback, without anything. You just did the audition. and then they told her to fly to Boston.
Yeah, it was weird because like we weren't I didn't know what it was. It was just like some weird audition. And
Yeah.
then I was like, I don't really want to do it. And my mom was like, oh, just you can just put on any clothes you want. I don't really care. So I just put on a sweater vest, like shark socks and like other stuff. And then I went into the audition, like just not caring how I looked. I just looked like a total freaking nerd, as my mom
Yeah.
says. And yeah, I just like booked it, and they're like, oh, "Okay, you're flying to Boston," and we're like, "Why?" And it's just like you got the movie. It's Ted. It's got Seth MacFarlane, Mark Wahlberg. I'm like, oh, for the
Yeah.
callback, and they're like, no, you booked it. I'm like, oh, for a producer session, and then yeah,
Yeah.
so it was just like weird.
Chemistry. No, and you just kept on, moving. No, booked it.
Like
That's
I booked it for a producer session. We're booking flights to go to a. We're, no, no.
yeah. No, it's a great job. And
Yeah.
talking to your mom, she mentioned that you the way that you approach auditions is really the proper way to approach auditions, which
Yeah.
is, please go into that, and then we'll discuss.
Yeah, I just like just don't care and be fearless, kind of like I would walk out of an audition, my mom would be like, how did it go? I'd be like, I don't know, I just did it, I think they laughed, and then I left and said thanks, have a nice day. And she's
Yeah.
like, okay, and then they'd be like, all right, he booked it. It's like great. Yeah.
Were there any auditions that you went in nervous, or are all the auditions so far, knock on wood, have been like this?
It's so annoying because like most auditions, like I'm just fine and I go through them with a breeze. And like callbacks is like, all right, it's a little bit more risky. But then when it's like, all right, now you have a producer session. Okay, now you have a chemistry read. Then it's like, okay, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Like, because then it's like, all right, now there's like all these producers looking at you, all these writers looking at you, these two
Yeah.
directors looking at you, and they're like, I'm never hiring this kid again. Like when they're just looking, it's like this, like they gotta, yeah, you just gotta like it's just stressful when it's like too many people in the room.
Yeah. How many auditions, back to Cobra Kai for a second, how many auditions was it for Cobra Kai? Now, again, by auditions, I'm talking about the whole process.
Yeah. For mm, I don't forget how many. I think it was just the audition for Brooks, but for Mitch,
Mitch? Yeah,
I think it was I think I did a self tape first, and then they called me in for a callback, and then I just booked it from the callback.
that's
It's
good.
like
So not too bad. Yeah.
it was either that or it was self tape audition, then callback with the big three in the room, and then
Okay.
I got them to
Perfect.
laugh. That's what they made
You-
that.
Hey, it works. It works.
Yeah,
Um, and then I saw again, kind of perusing your IMDb Pro. I saw that on, I think, actually I wrote it down. The Rock the House. You played a character named Austin, which is your brother's name. So,
yeah.
how cool was that? And did that, was it weird at all when they were keep calling Austin, and it's like any part of you would, Austin? Are you?
Kind of, yeah. It would be like I don't know, like because it was over with quick. I think it was just like 1 or 2 days of shooting.
Okay.
I barely even remember the scene. I think it was like by a pool or something. I don't know, but but yeah, it was just yeah, it was quick and easy. Yeah.
Any sibling rivalry with Austin, because I know both of you are acting.
Yeah, but like, kind not really because we're both completely different types. So like
Right.
he's got like a 8 pack or whatever, but like yeah, he's like the like leading man ish type. I'm more like the funny like character-y type. So like yeah,
More fun. More fun.
yeah,
Yeah. More interesting roles from my perspective.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's cool. And then when you're doing self tapes, are you a fan of self tape or an audition where you're in the room?
I like self tapes a lot more because then you can pretty much perfect it. Like during an audition, you'd probably screw something up, and they'd be like, all right, thank you, but like you are able to still be like, actually, can I do that one more time? But then you don't want to like overdo it.
Yeah.
So like for self tapes, you can do it as many times as you need to perfect it, and then you can even like rewatch it and be like, oh no, it'd even be even better with this, and then you go
Mhm.
do that too, and yeah, just yeah. Is it? I just like self tapes better. I'm more confident with them, but yeah.
But do you find, again, just based on what we were talking about before, with your kind of not worrying too much about the audition, just going and doing your stuff, do you find that with self-tape, that goes away, or you're still in that mode of I'm not worried, but hey, this would be a fun thing to try, so I'm gonna do it this
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot less worry with self tapes. Like I feel more like just relaxed while I'm doing them.
way?
Because I feel like I could literally just like because I'm able to just like pause the whole thing, go to the bathroom, grab some water, whatever I need to like make sure I'm like most comfortable while I'm doing it, change the air conditioning or whatever. Because the thing I hate the most, like there's this one office, I forgot where it was, but it was like in LA. It like that I hated this office the most. It just like had this big window, and like the auditions are usually like in the middle of the day where the sun's out the most, and it's just like reflecting a giant beam into my eyes the whole time I'm doing the audition. I'm just like, yeah, like I'm trying to like I always have my worst auditions at that office just
Well,
because of the light. Like it's just blinding me, and I'm like, I can't see my sides. Like,
have
but
you
yeah,
booked anything from that office?
I don't even know. Like, I feel like I haven't just because I've been there so many. Like, but I might have because I've like auditioned there so many times. But yeah.
The fact that they're bringing you in means that they still like you, so that's a plus. Maybe tell them one day, like, guys, get some
Like
shades.
bring down the lines a little, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll only audition in the late afternoon, evening hours. Yeah, that's what I come. Very
There
cool.
you
And then I saw something on your resume that I have to bring up, and if I'm putting you on the spot, I apologize. But I saw that you can do a variety of accents, including Russian accent. Me being a native Russian speaker, I really want to hear your Russian accent. So, do you want to attempt it?
go. I don't know if it is completely accurate, but I just like to play with voices every once in a while. Usually from video game or from show or whatever is entertaining to me.
That was very good. I thought that was definitely believable. So well done, you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Very cool. What's your favorite accent?
Um, I don't know. I think like yeah, Russian and like Southern are fun to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like to like think about on the spot. Like yeah, like Russian. Like yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So they're just like fun little things like adding. I don't know.
Scottish is my favorite to do. I love doing Scottish. For whatever reason, I don't know why. Probably Mike Myers and the whole Shrek thing. But Scottish is probably my favorite accent to do.
Yeah, me and my sister play a game called Sea of Thieves, and like you like randomly select whichever like who your character is gonna be, and like that we both
Mhm.
like without even like checking with each other, we both accidentally picked like, redheads for our characters. And then like so we just made it a thing where we're both like screaming in Scottish while we're playing the game. We're like, on the port side, look over the bridge, like we're being attacked. Like, yeah,
That's
it's fun.
awesome. That's awesome. And who's your reader when you're doing self tapes? Is there somebody that you normally do it with?
Usually my brother or just anyone else who's at the house.
Okay.
It'll usually be my brother or my mom. But when yeah. Yeah, usually just my brother, my mom, or my girlfriend. Those are like the only three people I know that like read the lines, yeah.
That's nice. My daughter does mine, so she's an actress as well. I'm like, yeah, it's nice to have you in the house. You're still here. I need to tape this. So
There
that's
you go.
basically abusing my daughter just for my own lines.
Make
Um,
sure the
and
camera's not cutting off too much of my hair, but make sure it's just above. Like
oh, she hates it. She's like, Dad, I have the proper framing. Stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And then, I'm a control freak, so it drives me nuts. Like she's doing it and I'm getting ready and she's on her phone. I'm like, no, you're here to work.
Yeah.
Put your phone away. These whatever 15, 20 minutes that you're doing it, I need your full concentration.
Yeah, my brother, brother kind of does that to me sometimes too. Like
Yeah.
he'll be doing an audition where like I know that like he'll have an audition where like the entire page is just a like, paragraph for him, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, all right, and action, and I'll just pull out my phone and be like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
You're giving me nothing.
it's distracting me. Turn it off. I'm like, okay. But yeah.
Very cool. Two more things and I'll let you go. So is there something that, again, you're well known now, but is there something that people do not know about you that you want to share?
Um, I can make a cricket noise and a Chewbacca noise.
Okay, please do go for it.
And then
That's very cool. I like that. Very nice.
I just like discovered it when I was yawning one time. Like I was yawning, I went like, oh, that's cool. So I just like
That works.
didn't stop doing it.
Do you ever do that on the set? Because I imagine that would be a fun thing to do on the set.
Yeah, I kind of would do it a lot, but like it would always be when I yawn because like it's usually like dim. Like they only have the lights like on the actual sets. Like the rest of the studio was kind of dark most of the time. It's like I'll just
Yeah,
feel sleepy. I'll just go and like anyone walking by will just be like, okay, Chewbacca. Like yeah.
that's awesome. Very cool. I like that. And then last, but not least, if you had a chance to go and talk to the, 6-year-old or a 7-year-old self and give them one bit of acting advice, what would that be?
Uh, don't procrastinate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
probably
that's
like procrastinating on like reading my lines or whatever. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just like don't
listen.
procrastinate. You're like, as soon as you get an audition, read it. Like, yeah.
Listen, you're 20, and you already achieved a lot. Knock on wood that it continues for you. So that's very sound advice from a 20-year-old. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool. Thank you, Aiden. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck. I'm rooting for season 4, 5, 6, and continue going from there. It's a really
Thanks for
really
having.
wonderful. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for having.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. It's another episode of The Love of Acting. Sorry that my brain was not working very well in the evening. I won't edit it out. We're just gonna leave it as is because we're doing it live. Okay, everybody, take care. Hey, I'm
Next episode.
stopping. Say that again.
Next episode's a clown suit.
Yes, yeah. Next episode is definitely a cloud suit. Absolutely.